Hello, and welcome to today's GM Blog update video. Today is December the 18th, 2019, and let's get into it. We have a lot to discuss in this GM Blog for the Christmas/winter date. But first, I would like to go over the fact that I have a Discord that I would totally love to speak to you, the viewer, yes you, watching this video. If you would like to talk to me or go over video ideas that you would like to see me or other people do in the future, feel free to hit me up there. I'm also in the official Elsword Discord. I'm also in the Elsword PvE Discord, as well as a couple others, but they're a little more on the niche side. So if you'd like to speak to me, feel free to ping me there. And let's get into the juicy news that we have. First off, let's go over the fact that masterclasses are coming very soon behind KR for NA. So, as you know, later on today, masterclasses, the new big update for Christmas/winter, will be rolling out for KR. It's going to be, I have a whole video on this that you can watch, going over the details of what we know that the masterclasses have in store for us. You can also go check out more intimate, some new news just came out about masterclasses as a little preamble to the patch that KR is going to be going through later on today. In Tunafish's KR Babble blog, so you can go read about it there. Also, the date for NA, when masterclasses will be hitting, I will have for you up on the screen, is not that far behind. I believe it's the 15th of January. We're not all that far behind KR this time around, as opposed to third jobs, which we had to wait a little bit for. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. I'm sure a lot of people are. It's still a couple weeks off, and I'm sure people are gonna be back in school, or like just back in the swing of things, so you won't be able to enjoy it if you don't have a KR account over the break, as you would many other things that are going on in other games with their Christmas events. But that's just the way things go as of right now, since we're always so far behind these MMO patches. So let's get into the actual content of today's update. So, your best winter is about to begin. Tons of rewards and events await. Hey adventurers, just a teensy heads up. We're about to have an extremely exciting week. This is the best time to stay indoors because we've got plenty of events and tons of freebies to keep you warm from sundown to sunrise. This is how you prep for the new year. And as always, don't forget to take a look at the item wall because you'll be totally surprised at what you might find there. Debatable. Alright, so first big event is the forward event, but before we actually get into that, there are some pretty understated changes that have happened to the game that, in my opinion, are like way more important than the actual event itself. So let's go over them. Alright, so let's go over these other changes that have happened that are quite understated in the event details, shockingly enough. So the huge thing that has happened is we now have the Rigomor CP reduction patch that is hitting NA. So, I'll have this up on screen. All of the CP requirements to enter the Rigomor dungeons have been lowered significantly for the most part. You can now enter the lowest or the earliest Rigomor dungeon at a measly 270k CP, which is more than reasonable even for the freest free-to-play player. It is absolutely within your power to do this. And if you need help doing this, I'm already working on a couple videos about how to gear and power up your character. And someone asked me this a while ago, but it's just taking a long time to get all the research and things done. But yes, it is absolutely possible for you to absolutely hit 270k so that you can grind Rigomor, at least that first dungeon, which is really all you need to like get the ball rolling in that park of getting to true endgame, I guess. But yes, this is a very substantial and important change that I think a lot of people were just complaining that the CP requirements for that area were just ridiculous. And most people are still stuck in area node, which is 2 areas behind the true endgame. I guess you could argue that the Rosso raid is still like the endgame, the thing that people with the highest tier gear are still, I guess, interested in running, but people are still like going through Rigomor as the endgame area, trying to get the amethyst gear and all that. So yes, only time will tell how people adjust to this new adjustment of the CP levels changing like this, but it's a very, very, very good thing that even the even people who haven't invested as much, or just were unlucky, or they're just not as fortunate as other people with better gear than them, and they still had a chance at getting through to the end of the game, having access to the end of the game. Alright, so after the Rigomor patch, after the Rigomor CP reduction, we also have reward increases from both the drop rate and the daily quest. So I don't have like a ratio on how much the drop rate has increased. Like the Elsword tier rate drop rate increase is just absolutely bonkers. You went from getting maybe 1, maybe 2 tiers a run to you get just showered, especially during these 2 times drop rate events. I've gotten like 15 tiers in 1 run and 11-6. Forgotten Elsword and Sanctum. It's absolutely ridiculous. So if you want to farm tiers, that was the best time to do that. As far as grinding the Glaciums and Spectral Amethysts from Rigomor, I don't know. It's just today, so I don't have a good estimate on how well it has been increased, but we'll get into that as it goes when we have more time to see if it's truly noticeable or not. It should be. The daily quests have increased by 2, so instead of getting 3 Spectral Amethysts per daily quest, you now get 5, so it's increased by 2, which is nice. And those are all of the Rigomor updates. Big quality of life. You can now enter, and you get more rewards from running the dungeons. So there you are. Alright, the next huge thing that was added, this update that's been kind of understated, is the addition of the +9 Void Weapon Amulet quest. It is an epic quest that you will do once per account, and it is not bank shareable. It is a once per account, but you can bank share the amulet. So if you do it on one character and you just figure that you want to do it or give the amulet to another character, you can bank share it that way and give it to them if you have access to bank share. Why does bank share not exist in the ED shop? I will never know. Why did they get rid of that quest? Greed is the only explanation for that I can think of. But yes, you can bank share the +9 weapon amulet. So if you do not have bank share, make sure you do it on the character that you want to +9 their weapon on. Otherwise you're up a creep. Because you can only do the quest once per account. Not per character, your entire account. No matter how many characters you make, you can only do the quest once. So you get 1 +9 amulet. That will help you reach Rigomor, since the CP levels have now been decreased. You now have for me and a lot of other people, +9 is the beginning of endgame power. So do not be fooled by how much power lies in just a simple +9 amulet, as opposed to the much more common +11 amulets when you run really high tier dungeons. You're more often going to see that for those people who run that type of content. But for just the general player base, +9 is like where you start endgame. So make sure to use it wisely. Once per account. Say that one more time. Once per account. And so after that, another thing that has been given to us is a lowered crafting requirement for the Dimension of Sinister Intent accessories. So before, they costed 40 relics and then 1 book. Now it is 30 relics and 1 book. So this is how it should have been to begin with, because it didn't make any sense for it to be 40 and then 1. And it's still 40 if you want to craft a random piece, which makes absolutely no sense. So crafting a random piece is completely off the table. Never ever do that. Just craft it with the book. You do it 3 times per day, and you can craft it after you run it 30 times. So after 10 days, you should be fine. Or I'm sorry, after 13 days, you should be fine. So, yes, that is the other big quality of life change. You can now craft. If you've been hoarding them, I mentioned this in a video a while ago. If you've been hoarding them, now is the time to cash it all in. As that's what I've been doing, and a lot of my characters have jumped up pretty significantly in power. Now most of my account can actually do Rigomor, which is nice. Alright, so after that, I think that was the last major update that they just... Oh, no. You can also now solo early game content from Elder all the way to Velder now. I don't know why they didn't have that as a thing. And I also don't know why it's not included in the party finder, but shrug. But yeah, it's another small quality of life update for people just starting the game or making new characters. And I think that's it. I think we get into the actual big forward update. Alright, so we have a natural weapon enhancement plus 11 buff. So I think this works the same as... No, it's different. Okay, so in the past we had weapon enhancement buffs that would make your weapon go up by 3, and the max enhancement would be plus 11. So if your weapon was like plus 7, and it went up by 3, or I'm sorry, if your weapon was plus 8, and it went up by 3, you would hit plus 11. But if your weapon was plus 9, and you went up by 3, it would only go up to plus 11. You couldn't get like a plus 12 if you had plus 9. Which is kind of lame, but shrug. Now, they just balanced it outright that all weapons are now basically plus 11s for the entirety of this update. So, there you go. Everybody has a plus 11 now. It's not a real plus 11, and it doesn't affect your combat power. I stress this. Just because your weapon has plus 11 to your power does not mean your combat power will reflect this. So you can't like do Rigomor, shrug, if that's what if you're trying to do endgame. You can't enter the raid. If you can't enter Varnamir, then like cry sad times for that as well. It's just kind of take 1 step forward, 2 steps back kind of deal. So you won't see a whole bunch of new people in Rigomor, but people will now be deleting Elrenote like crazy, I guess. You also get physical magical attack power, plus 10%. It's also nice. Just a little boost. Like, the plus 11 isn't overkill at all. Alright, so the next thing you get is a full Salvatore costume IB set. One of the Salvatores. So you got Salvatore Rosso, Salvatore Gaia, Salvatore Venice, Salvatore Denif, Salvatore Solus, Salvatore Elbalon. And if you're looking at this on the website, you can actually click on those, and you can see previews for some of the characters. However, if you want to just see the costume on your character, just go head up to the Wiki, which is in the description below. I always put these links there. Go to the wiki and check for the IB costumes and look for the character that you want to see and the IB costume that you would want to fashion your character in. They have all the same stats as a regular IB. Unfortunately, it's just for 14 days, so it's just a neat temporary thing for Christmas, I guess. And a lot of people are asking this question: which Salvatore costume is best for damage? It's Rosso. Rosso is the best for every character. He has the superior stats for PvE, PvP. But if you do not care about stats and you're just here for fashion, you can choose whatever you want. It doesn't matter. So that is that. Also, the cube is bank shareable. So if you open it or if you get the cube, because it's a login thing. So if you log in for 10 minutes, you get the cube in the mail. And don't freak out if you were just AFK on another character for some reason that you didn't want it on. You just bank shear it if you have bank shear. If you don't have bank shear, get on the character you want this costume on. But it's a temporary costume, so it's not really the end of the world if you don't. If it doesn't go your way. Alright, the daily, weekly rewards. Oh my goodness. Just look at this. These are event quests. 2 of them are dailies, and 2 of them are weeklies. The 2 daily quests are: you clear a dungeon in your level range, you get 10 Sage Magic Stones. Wild. The other one is whatever. You clear a dungeon in your level range twice, and you get combat rations, which is just basically free potions. So if you like the chug, it is a free refined recovery potion, which is 70%. Not complete recovery, which is 100%. This is just 75%. So yeah, that one is kind of whatever. But Sage Stones for running 1 dungeon? Yeah, that's pretty, that's top tier. You get 10 Sage Stones per day, so get on that. It's the easiest thing. Just run 11-2 and or 11, whatever dungeon is in your level range. Just do it once and you get Sage Stones. Save them up, man. Save up Sage Stones. Use it on your new Void weapon when it is now +9 to get the most out of your Sage Stones. And then that'll do it. We also got the weekly rewards, which are 10 Mystic Stone random cubes times 10. And this clear requirement is clear Vardaman dungeons 5 times in a row, and you get that cube, which is nice because 12-1 or the oh my goodness, what is that dungeon called? Which is really easy to do because 12-1 Labyrinth of Ruin is ultra free. Arguably, it is an easier dungeon than all the dungeons in Elrionode, in my opinion. Even 11-1. I think 12-1 is easier. So just run Labyrinth of Ruin 5 times in a row. You may get some Mystic Stones running that, and then you get 2 free ones. So take your time, pace yourself. It's really not a hard dungeon at all. Or you can challenge yourself, do 12-2. The legendary 12-3, where you can kill your party members who get stuck in those traps. I love that dungeon a lot. So yeah, Vardaman dungeons 5 times in a row. You might as well do it 10 times so you get the other weekly done. There's another Vardamir quest that's just a normal Vardamir quest. You clear Vardamir once, you get 1 box. You clear it 10 times, or no, you clear it 15 times actually, and you get 3 Mystic Stones. And that is the general weekly. So for this week, you can get a grand total on 1 character, because you can do the daily and weekly, you can do it multiple characters. But for 1 character, you can get a grand total of 14 Mystic Stone cubes, which is really, really nice. Alright, we also got clear Rigomor dungeons 5 times. So now that, Sea of Ruin, which is 13-1, the Rigomor dungeon, it has been lowered CP-wise to 270k. It is, again, way easier than a lot of the other dungeons. I would rate it like almost equivalent in difficulty as 12-1, Labyrinth of Ruin, Sea of Ruin. You see the parallels there. They're basically equivalent in difficulty, except for, I guess, the boss in Rigomor is a little bit tougher. But other than that, it's a free dungeon run. You run it 5 times, you get 100 Spectral Amethyst. It's crazy. And special note about Spectral Amethyst, it is not bank shareable. You need to do this on the character you plan on grinding Rigomor with. So if you do this and you mess up and you clear the quests on a character that's completely unrelated to what you want to do, like maybe it's just a bank storage character, you messed up. Nothing you can do about it. They're just trapped on that character forever, unless they ever make them non-bank shareable locked, which is a dumb concept to begin with, but shrug. Yeah, don't do that. Make sure to get Spectral Amethyst, if you didn't know, it's bank share locked. So you gotta do it on the character that you want it on. You can't trade it to anywhere else. You can't do anything with it unless you plan on I don't know, funding a lot of glacium and other spectral amethysts, I guess, question mark. Make sure to just do this quest on the character that you want on. And that's it for those rewards. Let's move on to the calendar for Christmas. I like how they don't even have Christmas like on the calendar. It's just start for another drop rate. That's so classy. Alright, so this week we have 2x EXP, and on the weekend, starting on Saturday, you get another third class advance ticket. Oh, no. Is that a change ticket or advance? I'm assuming that's an advance ticket. So if you have a second job transcendence class and you don't feel like doing the third job class, you can just use that ticket and you get another free third job. There you go. On Tuesday of next week, December the 24th, Christmas Eve. I always say just label. This is so hard to read because everybody's obsessed with using winter over Christmas nowadays. It's kind of weird. Christmas Eve is when it ends, and on Christmas Day it starts over with a new type of dungeon buff where we get 2 times normal dungeon drop rate. So for the next week, after this week is 2x EXP, the next week is 2x drop rate, and then on that weekend we get some fusion discs. I don't know if they're Kobo, so they're probably not tradable. So you get some fusion discs for your very new +9 void weapon. So you get that, and then it ends on at the end of the December. This one ends, and then on New Year's Day, we have 2 times secret dungeon and heroic dungeon, and adds energy fusion theory dungeon drop rate. This is quite possibly the weakest of all of these, unless you're trying to power up your ad weapon, because heroic dungeons are just glorified SDs. Heroic dungeons, in my opinion, are like completely pointless outside of getting wedges, I guess. But we should have enough wedges on the server to like fund everybody at this point. And then secret dungeons. If you, for whatever reason, need barrier fragments, or you just started the game and you're getting your SD gear done so that you can get your Elvery Note gear, you got that going for you, I guess. But this is the weakest of all of these. And then you get to unlock a free hyper. Cool. On the weekend of that week. That's cool, I guess. If you're too lazy to do the hyper quest, you get a free hyper. So this is also it's pretty whack. Unless you really hate the hyper quest, this is kind of whack. Then on the week after that, second week of January the 8th, we have 2 times EXP and normal dungeon and secret dungeon and heroic dungeon and adds fusion theory dungeon. This should be the thing that starts on Christmas. What? This is super frustrating, but a shrug, I guess. And on that weekend, we have a change your Mystic Stone option change ticket for your weapon, I guess. It's only a weapon ticket, 3rd class change ticket. So if you want to change your 3rd class change, we just had one of these. So I guess if you saw some patch, the master class did something weird to your character and you want to change, you got an option right there. And then you have the all Elvery Node equipment color change ticket right there on the weekend as well. So you get the weapon, change your equipment, and a 3rd class change ticket, just in case master class doesn't do the thing that you want it to do. Which would be super disappointing. I would feel really bad for you. Alright, and that takes care of the forward pre-event for masterclass. Christmas update. Going into the winter season. Then we have item mall goodies. So excited. Alright, let's see. I gotta scroll back up. Alright, winter goodies. We have early winter busking. Keep warm while you play those groovy tunes. So is this it's a music theme set? I'm not getting a particular vibe of like any kind of, I guess it's like alt rock, I guess maybe? Alt rock kind of style? Or like indie, indie rock style, I guess. It looks okay. I'll give it like, I don't like, oh my, that raven hair is so bad. Oh no, you know what? B minus. I don't like a lot of these hairs actually. Eve's hair looks great though, holy crap. Eve's and Aisha's hair, I guess. Elias also has good hair. Everybody else, oh my, no. I also don't like the girl skirts. The guy pants look kind of weird. I hate it when shoes don't have socks. Yeah, this is a questionable set. I don't know about this set. This is a hard B minus for me. Lady gets her fanatic costume, so if you like enjoy this costume set, or costume suit rather, there you go. I think it has good stats too. So on top of looking cool, it has good stats. And there you go. That is today's update. Pretty huge, like large scale changes for everything. You got the nerfs to Rigomor, buffs to Rigomor drop rate, epic quest, buffs to Dosi, dimension of sinister intent, rewards of decree, so it's easier to get those. Please do those every day. It's just free power for your character. You have no reason not to do it. Unless it's just super obnoxious and you need a guide, which I'm also working on. Someone asked for that a while ago. Been working on that. And there's some other people that have some guides for clearing Dosi as well. There's the funny cloudy video as well, if you want to check that out. But yeah, that's it. That's all for this update. Master classes will be later on tonight, so hope you are looking forward to that. Hopefully it's really cool, and it brings your character lots of good cheer, and it's not just one singular skill. I'm hoping it's cool. We'll see. We'll see. So with that, I am done, concluding today's GM blog, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.